There comes a time in a woman's life when a quiet voice from above begins to speak. People in the everyday world might see her as just regular, but in the unseen world, she is being set up for something very special. God never gives blessings by chance. When He is ready to release a powerful change, one that will alter everything, the woman He selects starts to feel the weight of this special preparation. First, she will find herself alone. This isn't because no one cares for her, but because she is being pulled away from the crowd. Being alone is not a rejection, it is a cleaning process. God removes the noise so she can clearly hear the soft voice. He stops the things that distract her, not to be harsh, but to guard the important thing He is about to create in her life. This type of separation is holy. It is like a protective covering before a major purpose shows itself. Then an unusual sense of unrest will grow in her heart. She will start to feel that where she is currently living no longer matches the person she is becoming. The things that used to make her happy now feel empty. Her job, her friends, her daily routine, none of it feels right anymore. This is not confusion, this is change. It is the beginning pain of a great destiny. Something inside is shifting, and her spirit knows it before her mind can understand. Suddenly, opportunities and paths begin to close off. It's not because she did something wrong, but because God is changing her direction. She prays, she plans, yet the way forward seems blocked. But this is a smart move from God. Closed doors are often kinder than open ones because God sees the future. When He shuts one way, it is because He is saving her for the right path. Don't feel sad about the closed door. Thank Him for His protection. In this time of change, something else wakes up. A strong desire, a deep need for more of God. She begins to long for His written word. She searches for His presence, not because she feels she should, but because she desperately needs to. She isn't chasing fame or praise. She is chasing complete connection with God. The closer she gets, the more clear understanding and deep insight God reveals. She is no longer interested in superficial things. She is being reset for things connected to God's kingdom. But with this greater desire comes more opposition. Suddenly it feels like everything is fighting against her. Unexpected attacks, inner doubts, being let down by others, feeling completely tired. The enemy fights what he fears. And what he fears most is a woman who knows her purpose and refuses to give up. The enemy sees the power being poured onto her and he panics. But resistance is proof that she matters. The struggles are a sign of confirmation. And then God starts to speak, not just once, but many times, through dreams, through other people, through the Bible, through that quiet, small voice in her spirit. He confirms what she has sensed, but couldn't explain. She starts to notice patterns, signs, symbols, all pointing to something much bigger than herself. She knows that something great is about to happen, and she holds on to the words of God as if her whole life depends on them, because it does. Finally, a powerful confidence rises in her. A fire, a sure knowledge. Even when she doesn't see the whole plan, she feels peaceful. Even in unknown situations, she walks with certainty. This is not being proud. This is controlled power, the kind of confidence that comes from giving control to God. The clarity she once begged for starts arriving in waves. The way she carries herself changes. Her voice is different. Her presence holds weight because God is supporting her. Woman of purpose. If you are seeing these signs, don't run away. Don't doubt yourself. Don't hold back. You are not falling apart. You are breaking through to something new. Something massive is coming. And when God gives a blessing, He doesn't do it halfway. He blesses much more than you could ever ask for or imagine. When God is getting ready to do something special in a woman's life, the first sign is often being separated. This is not a punishment. It is a smart, divine plan. God starts to pull her away. Not just physically from certain people and places, but spiritually from the noise and distractions that have weakened her purpose. Suddenly she stops being interested in talks that once excited her. The friends she used to turn to no longer understand why she is so quiet. The places she once felt comfortable in feel strange and empty. What she is experiencing is not being lonely. It is separation for transformation. God always separates people before He promotes them. He took Moses away from the palace before giving him the task. He led Joseph through the prison before putting him in charge of the country. He kept David hidden in the open fields before he ever sat on the throne. This divine pattern happens again and again because real change needs time alone with God. In this period, he becomes her only source of support. Not her friends, not her job, not her achievements, but only him. She learns to rely on his voice like never before. She starts to feel his presence in the quiet moments, and it is there that she begins to understand her true self. In being separated, distractions are removed and clear thinking returns. God shows her truths about herself that she never noticed when she was always surrounded by others. He starts to remove the false identities she wore to get by. Identities of needing approval, fear, feeling insecure, and comparing herself to others. And as those layers disappear, she is introduced to the woman she was always meant to be. This is a holy period. Painful, yes, and often confusing, but it is sacred. Because before God gives her something huge, he must first make sure she is strong enough to handle it. And for that, he needs her complete attention. When a woman is about to experience a great shift from God, he doesn't begin with a public display. He starts with quietness. He calls her away softly, gently, but with purpose. People start to distance themselves. Conversations fade. Invitations stop coming. And though she might try to hold on, she feels something pushing her toward quiet time. It's not that she's been forgotten, it's alignment. God removes her from the crowd because what he's about to put inside her cannot be exposed to noise. The bigger the calling, the greater the separation. He is not trying to hurt her. He is trying to protect what he is planting within her. In this time, she begins to feel misunderstood. Even those closest to her can't seem to connect with her like they used to. It's as if she is speaking a language no one else understands. That's because God is teaching her a new language of purpose, identity, and calling deep inside her spirit. Her desires change. She's no longer happy with shallow relationships or meaningless conversations. Her soul needs something deeper, something lasting. And although she may feel like she's losing everything, what she is truly gaining is herself. This is the simple, quiet place that creates wisdom. The secret spot where God begins to reintroduce her to her true self. She cries more, prays harder, listens longer, and in that quiet place, God reveals hidden hurts, breaks old habits, and restores her identity. It is in being alone that her ears open, her spirit becomes sharp, and her faith grows stronger. This is the kind of silence that gives birth to power. The world may not see her, but heaven is watching closely. She is being shaped, refined, and stretched. This is not the end. It's the preparation for a new start. Before God brings her into places of influence and blessing, he brings her into a time where the only voice she listens to is his. When God is preparing to bless a woman with something huge, one of the clearest signs is that opportunities and paths start to close unexpectedly. Chances that once looked promising suddenly disappear. Relationships that felt secure start to fall apart. Plans she was certain about begin to fail without warning. To the normal eye, it might look like failure or rejection, but in the spiritual world, it's redirection. God is not punishing her, he is protecting her. He is shutting doors not to take things away, but to keep her from settling for less than what he has planned. This time can be confusing because the doors that close are often the ones she asked for. But God sees the complete picture. He sees what lies behind every opportunity. And he knows when something that looks like a blessing could actually become a heavy burden. When doors shut quickly, it forces her to stop, think again, and listen to God's voice more than her own wishes. This is not a sign that she is going the wrong way. It's proof that God is actively guiding her path. God never closes a door without reason. Sometimes he shuts it to improve her character, sometimes to delay her until the timing is perfect, and other times to completely change her direction. Either way, every closed door is an invitation to trust him more deeply. In this place, she learns that her destiny is not in the hands of people, but in the hands of her Creator. The job she lost, the friendship that ended, the opportunity that slipped away, they were never the source of her success. They were only tools. And when they no longer serve his purpose, he removes them. Because when he is getting ready to open a door that no one can close, he first shuts every one that could limit her vision. When God is about to release something special in a woman's life, He doesn't just change her surroundings. He awakens something deep inside her spirit. A new, strong desire for His presence begins to burn. It's not fake or forced. It suddenly rises up, taking over her in a way she can't even explain. The things that used to interest her no longer satisfy. The conversations that once held her attention now feel meaningless. There's a strong, undeniable pull from God, drawing her into the secret, quiet place. She wants peaceful quietness, longs for worship, and finds herself studying the Bible not because she has to, but because she desperately needs to. This desire is not ordinary. It is a special invitation from God. It is the Spirit of God moving her to come closer, to go deeper, to go beyond the surface. And the more she responds, the more He shows her. In this time, she begins to understand the difference between religious duties and a real relationship with God. She no longer chases routine tasks. She chases real connection. It is in this pursuit that she begins to hear God more clearly, feel Him more personally, and see herself more truthfully. Her time praying begins to shift. She's no longer just asking for things. She's praying for connection, for understanding, for a pure heart. Her tears become her way of speaking. Her worship becomes her powerful tool. She's not looking for a public stage. She's seeking God's presence. This kind of deep desire cannot be learned. It must be created by God Himself. And when it comes, it changes everything. This is how God gets her ready for what comes next. Before the blessing arrives, He makes sure her foundation is in Him, not in the results. He deepens her roots so that when the weight of the blessing comes, it doesn't crush her, it honors her. Because what's coming is not just big, it is from God. And only a heart that truly wants Him will be able to handle it. When a woman is on the edge of a great breakthrough from God, the atmosphere around her begins to change, and so does the opposition. Unexpected resistance and spiritual fighting start to increase. Not because she is weak, but because she is becoming a threat to the world of darkness. The enemy doesn't fight what he is not afraid of. But when a woman starts moving in line with God's plan, when her true self begins to show, when her desire for God deepens and her distractions are removed, hell notices, and it reacts with a fight meant to distract, discourage, and stop her. Attacks come from unexpected sources. People she trusted start to turn against her. Her feelings become unpredictable. Thoughts she thought she had overcome return strongly. Her sleep is disrupted. Her peace feels under attack. Her progress seems slow. But none of this is random. It is planned. It is the enemy sensing that something powerful is about to be born through her life. And just like the ruler trying to destroy the one who would save them before Moses grew up, the enemy attacks before the promise shows up. But here is the truth. Spiritual fighting is not a sign of failure. It is often the strongest proof that she is exactly where God wants her to be. The pressure is proof of her purpose. The intensity is a sign of the impact she is about to make. And though the battle may be fierce around her, she is not fighting alone. God has already gone ahead of her. Angels have been assigned to help. The Spirit of God inside her is stronger than anything that comes against her. This fighting is not to destroy her. It is to develop her. It is strengthening her ability to see the truth, sharpening her prayer life, strengthening her faith, and preparing her for the importance of the glory she is about to carry. What the enemy planned for harm, God is using to promote her. Because a woman who survives the fire cannot be stopped when she steps into the promise. When God is preparing to release something important into a woman's life, He doesn't leave her without direction. He begins to send confirmation of His plan, not just once, but many times through unexpected people, through sermons, through dreams, through Bible verses that seem to jump out at her. God starts to repeat His intentions until her spirit can no longer doubt it. These confirmations are not accidents. They are signals from God. It is God's way of saying, I am speaking and I want you to pay attention. She might be in a time of uncertainty, questioning the direction of her life, unsure if what she feels in her heart is truly from God. Then suddenly, someone speaks a word that matches her private prayers. A message finds her at the exact moment she needs it. A dream matches the vision she has been keeping inside. This repetition is not random, it is on purpose. God knows that when the importance of destiny is heavy, the mind can be confused by fear. And so he speaks over and over to bring clear direction and courage. Each confirmation becomes a thread in the fabric of her faith. The more she hears it, the more her confidence grows. She starts to recognize the voice behind the human voice. It's not the person speaking. It's God using people to remind her that she is not imagining this. He is showing parts of the picture before he reveals the full masterpiece. And with each word, each sign, each nudge, her spirit begins to connect more strongly with his will. These confirmations from God are not to be worshipped, but they are to be noted. They are small signs leading her into deeper obedience. God doesn't confirm what has no purpose. So when the signs keep appearing, when the word keeps being repeated, when the message won't leave her alone, she must know that heaven is announcing her next major step before it begins. When God is about to bless a woman with something huge, there comes a moment when everything inside her starts to line up with God's intention, and suddenly an unshakable confidence and clear understanding emerges. It doesn't come from others praising her. It doesn't come from having perfect situations. It rises from a deep place within her spirit where fear has been replaced by understanding. She may still be walking through uncertainty, but something inside her is sure. She doesn't have all the answers, but she has the certainty, and that certainty gives birth to a quiet power that cannot be moved. This confidence is not being boastful. It is authority. It is the result of yielding, surrendering, and being quiet before God. It is what happens when a woman has struggled in prayer, cried in worship, and fought in the Spirit, and come out on the other side with a clear goal. She starts to speak differently, walk differently, and make choices with firm belief. She no longer doubts her value or her calling. The opinions of others lose their power because she has heard the voice of her Father, and that voice has brought peace to her soul. With this clear thinking comes focus. Distractions lose their power over her. She stops chasing what is not connected to her purpose. She stops explaining herself to people who were never meant to understand her. She begins to build, create, move, and act because she finally sees what God has been showing her all along. She no longer waits for perfect conditions. She steps out in faith because she knows the ground beneath her feet is secure. This is the moment where God's preparation meets her willingness to act. Her courage is not loud, but it is unmoving. Her choices are no longer based on fear, but on purpose. And once a woman reaches this place, no struggle, no criticism, no delay can stop what God is about to release through her life.